Alright, and welcome to Zero Cool Gaming and today's long play of Reckoning, Kingdoms of Amalur, and this is going to be with commentary. Today I'm going to do a review, and we're going to do a review of a very old anime, 1977, called RG Veda, I believe that's how that's pronounced. It'll be spelled in the description. I'm not very good with pronouncing Japanese terms, names, even if that's not a Japanese term or name. I never know exactly how these things are supposed to be pronounced. So, RG Veda. It is a high fantasy adventure. That's what I would categorize this game as. This anime as. It's not a completed anime at all. In fact, it's you got 2 parts to it. That's all they ever made. There is a manga. I'm not even for sure if that's been translated. And from what I can tell, this anime was made to boost the sales of the manga, the book, the visual novel, whatever you want to call it, or books, or however you want to, categorize that. And apparently, it did do that. It succeeded in its endeavor to do that. So that's a good thing. I wouldn't have minded if they completely finished this anime out and followed the, whatever was happening in the manga throughout the rest of the story. But regardless, what we got is pretty cool. Like I said, it's high fantasy. It's set in like, time of swords and armor and that sort of stuff. There is grand structures in this world that did not use the engineering of the people within the world to construct them. They're constructed through magic or psychic ability or whatever they call it in that world. This world is ruled by those that they call gods, which to the people, they might as well be gods with the abilities that they have. Because a normal person would stand no chance against them in that respect, any of them. And that's kind of the universe, high fantasy universe, really powerful beings within it. And then you have everyone else.
All I know is what I learned in my youth. The heroism of King Wenson and his court of enchantments.
It keeps it kind of grounded in the respect that there's not a lot of super powerful beings in this world. It's not like there's thousands or hundreds of thousands of them. It seems like it's less than 100. So, somewhat grounded in that respect. So not too much insanity ensues.
I've seen many bandit clans in the and back home.
So what's the story? Well, the story is, well, it does cover some interesting topics along the way, some interesting subjects. It only takes a surface level view at any of them, but at least it touches on them. But the story is about one of these godlike creatures, people. You know what, I'm going to change that because I hate using that word God. Even though they use it in the anime, I hate using that word. Because that's not what they are, at least not to my understanding. For this world, I guess you could say that the ruling class are the gods, and everyone else are peasants in that respect, or just people. they have no powers or abilities or anything like that. Okay. So the ruling class, one of the members of the ruling class, back to the story. One of the members of this ruling class decided that he wanted to be king, basically. So he killed the previous king. Of course, there were those who had problems with that and rebelled against his rule, and their clans were annihilated as a result. And some of them were killed as a result. Most of them, in fact. So the new guy takes, you know, rule over the land or the world or whatever. I think it's the world. And the previous king's wife decides, I'm guessing, you know, again, it takes a very surface level view at all this stuff. So she decided in her own wisdom that her best way to stay alive in that respect would be to kill her younger, her daughter, decided to kill her daughter, and then marry the new king. Somehow that did not happen. It's very vague on the exact details as to what happened there, but I'm guessing that the guy that she's traveling with when this anime starts is the guy that protected her from her mother and ran away with her out of the palace so that she wouldn't be killed. That's just a guess because it never actually states that. But it's alluded to, I guess is the way of putting it. And they're on a mission to find others that are willing to help them overthrow this new king, because they don't believe in his rule. And there's other things that they don't like about what he's doing, and this, that, and the other. I mean, they have reasons. Excuse me. And there's actually a prophecy that's thrown into this whole mess that tells of these events that are happening. So, kind of interesting, to say the least. And basically the story starts well after most of what I just described. Everything that I just talked about, you get little clips and scenes about it throughout the show. But the story starts
you could head straight to Shieldring Keep and pledge
with you,
but a commendation from me.
Or not, well, not with you. I keep putting myself in the positions of these things. So it starts with this older guy, a young girl, a young boy, and an older woman. And they're part of a traveling band of essentially mercenaries at this point, because their clans have been wiped out. And they're all on a quest to find those who'd be willing to help them. help them rebel against the new king. And their current destination on this quest is actually the palace of the current king, because they think that they'll be able to find someone there who is willing to help them. And there's things that happen along the way there to slow their progress. But yeah, that's basically the story. And of course, you get to the palace, and you know, other things happen, and that's the end of the anime. It's 2 parts, I believe. I want to say it's like an hour and a half total, so each part's like 45 minutes. I've got it on disc, so it's, you know, not hard for me to pop it in and watch it.
And I'll pay with coin and a commendation to join the order.
But when this came out, discs didn't even exist. I mean, it was 1977. I got my copy of it much later.
Right then.
And the company that did this one also did another anime that I actually enjoyed, which was Tsubasa Chronicles. I believe that's how that's pronounced. And I'll cover that anime one day too. They never finished that one either. It got yeeted for whatever reason. I have no idea why. But it was never finished either. I have a tendency of finding anime that they never finish. Don't ask me why. I don't know. But a lot of times these anime that they never finish had really good aspects to them. You know, parts to them that I enjoyed and that I found very interesting. So, because this is such an old anime, the cartooning does, or the animation does look a little dated, but it is done by a good studio, so it still holds up today. It's still pretty decent. It's not hard to watch. The story is actually, you know, pretty deep. What little bit of it you get in this anime. The topics that it covers are pretty
Welcome to
pretty hardcore, truly. Even though it does a very surface level coverage of those topics, it I like the fact that it at least tries, or, you know, puts forth effort to cover them. And that to me is a good thing. I mean, even if the stories don't go like into the idea that they would even go over it at all in that respect is nice, because a lot of stories won't cover anything that's difficult, I guess is the way of putting that. It's probably not the best way of putting that. They don't like covering topics that are problematic, I believe is the word they use today for that. if I was to rate this anime, I'd probably rate it as about a 6. It's not bad. It's not, you know, a horrible anime by any stretch of the imagination. It's actually a pretty good one. It is dated. I mean, it's a 1970. The story is rather simple. But I do like the world that they've created in that respect. I like the idea of the aristocrats in that respect being not considered gods, but having the abilities that they do. It adds a whole nother level of what's the way that I should... It adds a whole nother level of Midgars. Olgnar. Yeah, okay, these are different people. Lost my train of thought, sorry about that. Adds a whole nother level of topics that you can dive into. Things that you can look up yourself and see how that does play out in the real world. You know, why are people like that in that respect? And you're probably wondering what I mean by that. Well, like I said, the story, you know, starts where it does and goes through, and you get tidbits of information as you go through. And like I described, this mother was going to kill her daughter. And of course, you know, she gave her reasoning, you know, her outward reasoning is what I call that, for doing such a thing. And I can see that this was a excuse, reasoning, a thing that has been used in the past, let's put it that way. A reasoning that has been used in the past to justify same type of horrible actions. When the reality is that, you know, they say women love their children, this, that, and the other. Not when they see them to be a rival in that respect, for their own survival. Women in history have been, and I'm sure will continue to, sacrifice their own children for their own survival rather than the other way around. Sacrificing themselves for their children's survival. It's just, you know, one of those things that I found interesting when I went to look it up to see how that actually plays out in the real world. I was like, wow. And they give you just enough information within the anime to, you know, when I say properly research it, isn't really the correct terminology that I would use. It gives you enough information to where you're even able to research it in that respect. Because without some guideline, some sense of understanding, some relevant point to go from, you won't find any information on such things. It's just the reality of the world we live in today and the insane censorship that's going on. Yes, I realize that I'm just running back and forth and I should really do something. And I'm also talking, so it's easy for me to just run back and forth and not consider such things.
If you want that Red Legion dagger, you will have to pry it from my stiff fingers. Foolish choice. Let's hope your blade is sharper than your wits. This is folly, you know that.
And the guard doesn't even care. Just walks right on by. Yeah, okay. It's just, yeah, kind of funny. And there are other little subjects within the anime, and I would guess that there's also subjects within the manga, the rest of the story, that do the same thing, where it provides you just enough energy that you, or enough information, with just enough information that you can go look it up for yourself and see what conclusions you come to. So yes, I find that very interesting when they do stuff like that. Pretty cool, to say the least. So yeah, if you're looking for some good entertainment, that's, you know, some pretty high fantasy stuff, truly high fantasy stuff. And I realize that there's, you know, quite a bit of anime out there that's high fantasy, that's complete stories even, where this one is not a complete story. It's still enjoyable. I still, you know, don't mind putting it in and watching it once every 10 years or so. I forget enough about it that it's fun to watch. If I take this, are they all gonna hate me? They're probably all gonna hate me for taking their book. And now they're all gonna attack me. I'll have to reload the game because I decided to steal something. I haven't been reading any of this, so I don't know why I'm supposed to steal a book. And I've never really understood why this game puts such a big emphasis on stealing anything. Well, it doesn't look like I'm being outright attacked, so I'm probably okay.
Welcome to KoA.
Great Mitharu, you found the ordination tome. I'd give a sack of gold to see that he will no longer be able to thank you. I won't need any gold as a servant of Mitharu. Take what I have. It's yours.
Okay.
I will remember you in my prayers.
I keep forgetting that this one's a little different on the camera and how you move it in the other games that I'm playing. It's not a big problem. Yeah, I want detect hidden, truly. And I've only got 1 point, so we'll confirm that. 3 points. I don't need anything in scepters. I just put everything in. Undo that. Is there anything here that I want? I should probably put a point in that. And we'll leave that there. And we'll call that good. So why doesn't that show up on my map? See, that's the part that I don't understand about this game. Do I gotta go in a building and back out for that to happen? I just never know how that works. Is it too far away? I have no idea. Anyway. That's going to be my rant for the day, or my review, and I hope you enjoy the rest of yours.